Unit 4, and we're doing part 2 of 4.2. And last time we looked at central location. Now we're going to look at spread. So we're going to look at how far the data has been spread apart. Say for instance when you wrote 3 tests and you found your average for the 3 tests was 10. Then you don't know, were my marks 10, 10, 10? Were they 5, 10, 15, etc. You've got the average, just tells you what was more or less the middle value, but it doesn't tell you if you got mostly close to 10s or if your data was very far spread apart. So measures of spread does help you to look at that. We're going to do this in terms of an example. So I'm going to say test scores of 9 students. I'm going to give you, and the test was out of 50. So this is the data I'm going to use the whole time. These are the different marks that the 9 students got. So I want to give a bit of space there. One measure of spread is the range, which is simply your maximum minus your minimum. In this case, 49 minus 0. So we know that the scores, the test scores are spread over 49 marks. But we still don't know too much about them. We don't know if they were evenly spread across the 49 or how they are spread. So we prefer to break it up into quarters. So if we break it up into quarters, here's what we're going to do. We don't call them quarters, we call them quartiles. And now be careful that you don't get this wrong. The first quartile, this rule here is where to find it, not what its value is. And the n is the number of students, the number of data you got, in this case 9. So a quarter of 9 plus 1, a quarter of 10 is 2.5. Q1 is your 2.5th observation. That's not the value of it. What you go is you go to number 1, number 2, and then in the middle, between 2 and 3, you get your Q1. And because it's in the middle, you take their average. So it is 8, and it is called the lower quartile. So this rule, remember here, is not the value, it's where to find it. Q2 is your median. But your median is literally just the same rule, but a half of n plus 1, which is a half of 10. So it's the 5th observation. It's not 5, it's the 5th observation. So your 5th observation is 25. That is your Q2. Q3, your upper quartile, is then 3/4 times n plus 1. So 3/4 of 10 is the 7.5th observation. Its actual value is go between the 7th and the 8th and find their average, which comes to 35, and it's called your upper quartile. Now this tells us such a lot. We've now broken it up into quarters. So what we're saying is that, for instance, let's first do the interquartile range. Interquartile range is your upper quartile minus your lower quartile, the actual values. So it is your 35 minus 8, 27. That tells you that the middle half of your marks, middle 50% of your scores, was spread over 27 marks. Or you could say the middle 50% of your scores are between the values of 8 and 35.